If you are a traditional woman who's got no pictures on Instagram, who isn't going out all day, every day, who isn't sleeping around and isn't getting lots of surgery, there's no reward in that. You will never find a date. There's no reward in being a traditional good woman anymore.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I've got a question for you today. What is a traditional or trad wife? Now, some people say that traditional relationships will never work in this modern society. Some also say that there are no rewards to being a traditional woman. Now, here are two videos on the subject. One by H.T. Williams and another found on the First Things First podcast.
Okay, so I'm here to make a clarification video because of the big controversy going around about the term trad wife and the intent behind the term, as well as the intent behind my channel and what I post. If you are not familiar with the term trad wife, it is a woman who chooses to live a more traditional life with ultra-traditional gender roles. So the man goes outside the house, works, provides for the family. The woman stays home and she's the homemaker. She takes care of the home and the children if there are any. The misconception about the trad wife movement, it's not really a movement. Nobody's pushing it. People are typically just living it and maybe showcasing their lifestyle like me. And we believe our place, specifically us as individuals, believe our purpose is to be homemakers. It doesn't mean that we are trying to take away what women fought for. There are a lot of people trying to make this a sinister thing or put some other darker meaning behind the term trad wife. Nobody is doing that. No trad wife TikTokers are saying every woman's place is in their home. We as individuals are just choosing to be homemakers. That's all.
If you are a traditional woman who's got no pictures on Instagram, who isn't going out all day, every day, who isn't sleeping around and isn't getting lots of surgery, there's no reward in that. You will never find a date. There's no reward in being a traditional good woman anymore.
My question is that what most men are looking for? Is that what the passport bros are all about? H.T. Williams speaks on her understanding of the passport bros and their mission to find traditional wives. Take a look.
You guys, I just figured out what the passport bro trend is. Never did I know what this was. I kept getting so many comments and I finally decided to look it up. A lot of people were trying to connect the trad wife movement with the passport bro trend and how they're similar. So yeah, let's unpack this. So if you don't know what the passport bro trend is, it's where men are coming to the conclusion that there's not as many ultra feminine, submissive, and traditional women in the western part of the world, such as the United States. And they're packing their bags, they're out. They're getting their passports and they're going to Europe, they're going to the Philippines, they're going to countries where traditional women are more common and traditional values are practiced more. I did see this toxic hookup culture part of the passport bro trend, and I do not agree with hookup culture or anything like that. However, the underlying reason this is a thing is because men are realizing that women in the western part of the world are really chasing after money, independence, a career, and these men want women who ultimately just want to be a wife and a mother, and they're submissive and they're traditional. And yes, there's pros and cons to this idea, just like anything. I mean, I don't necessarily think you have to leave the country that you are in to find a wife, but there have been men who have left the country to find their wife. So now I'm going to chime in with my thoughts. What are the possible cultural differences happening here? Personally, I see women here in the United States chasing independence and freedom away from their family. Statistically, the number of single 18 and 19-year-old girls getting into apartments or living situations with roommates has skyrocketed. Why? They don't want to live with their parents and be told what to do. Whereas in these other countries where traditional values are practiced more, these girls are staying close to their family or living with their family until they find their husbands. These women and young girls are getting guidance from these male figures in their family, such as their dad or their brothers. They're protected from outside interference and influence from their family. It makes sense. The idea of living with your parents past the age of 18 is kind of looked down upon here in the United States. Like, oh, you live with your parents still? Yeah, what's wrong with that? You're protected, you have guidance, and you're waiting for your husband. You don't have to work crazy hours to support yourself. It makes sense. My conclusion is I understand why this is a thing. There's pros and cons, but I get it.
All right, let's take a quick look at what a man gets from a traditional wife or trad wife. Now, first of all, a man needs to feel like he's needed, number one. And then number two, a biblical or traditional wife will understand her role. These are some of the things that will benefit the man in a traditional wife, right? So she has to understand her role. She also understands that she needs to validate and respect her husband, and he needs to love and cherish her. This is how that relationship works. If there, I would say always, there is no love without respect. Okay, so here's another video. Okay, I want you to watch this one by Bindi Mark, and let's see what happens.
Our husbands need to feel like they are needed. That is actually what is an integral part of them feeling motivated to just go through the hardships that can be life. Because yeah, I'm gonna deal with the stress at work. Yeah, I'm gonna deal with some of the anxieties that can come from pulling a family on my back. Why? Because they need me. And I think that some of us have been wrongly taught that I don't need no man. And like, yeah, I guess you could design a life that you don't need a man. But if you have willfully chosen to take on a husband of your own volition, it does not behoove you to believe, or even worse, to utter that you do not need him. It's a crippling statement. It's a crippling blow to that man's motivation to serve you.
So again, I go back to the question, what is a traditional wife? What do you think? What is it that you have to say? I tell you from my own understanding, a traditional wife keeps the home. She cooks, she bakes, she does laundry, takes care of the children if there are any, makes her husband comfortable when he comes home, and that type of stuff. Now, some women desire to be traditional wives while others do not. The problem I'm having is that they get on social media and they put down traditional wives. The question is, why? Because some people don't desire to be traditional wives, and so nobody's forced them to. There are others who also want to be semi-traditional wives. Okay, they work outside the home and come home and still try to take care of all the stuff that they need to take care of. Let me ask a question. Okay, what are the benefits of being a traditional wife? If you're a traditional wife, let me know what you think the benefits are, if there are any. Okay, so if there are any benefits, let me know. If there are no benefits, still let me know. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Well, when you think about it, if a man, okay, so say I'm looking for a traditional wife, I must first need to have everything in place. I need to have my finances in place. I need to have my understanding in place of what it means to be a traditional husband. Okay, that needs to be in place. I must first know what that looks like, because your finances has a whole lot to play in that role. You've got to be good, meaning you've got to have all your stuff straight. Okay, so my view of wealth has to be it has to be good. I have to know what wealth is all about. I have to know what taking care of a wife is all about. I have to know what working is all about, and saving and investing. I've got to know these things, okay? Because listen, if I'm looking for a traditional wife, that means she's going to stay home. She's not going to work. She's going to take care of the kids. She's going to take care of the home. One income. A lot of times it's a struggle for one income to take care of the entire home. And so all those things need to be in place. So I've got a question for you in a minute, all right? So my relationship with my wife has to be straight. My relationship with God needs also to be straight. And above all, whatever I do, I need to love my wife and take care of her. Those things, I believe, are the benefits of being a traditional wife, and also the role of a traditional husband. But watch this. Let me explain a little more. Okay, so what is it literally to be a traditional wife? What is it? Like I said, you see on social media, the women are coming for the traditional wives, the ones that are on social media and showing what they do on a day-to-day basis. And nobody's forcing these other women, but they're coming and they've got problems with traditional wives. Why? Because they don't want to be traditional wives. You know why? Feminism has embedded itself in their minds, and they don't fully understand what it is to be. As a matter of fact, they don't want to be a traditional wife. They think it's just slavery. But we'll get to that in a second. So first, a traditional wife is not a slave. Okay? Just said it. A traditional wife is not a slave, as some might think. She also is not mute. She can speak. She does have a say and an opinion. But she also is respectful and submissive. Now, those are two things that a lot of women don't understand. Okay, they don't want to be respectful and they don't want to submit to anybody. It's like two curse words. Being respectful and especially being submissive is a problem for a lot of modern women today. Because of what I just said, that has caused them to mentally lose their faculties when it comes to the common sense. Okay, and they always cite the worst case scenario. We're not talking about men that are beating up their wives, they're cheating on their wives, and they treat them horrible, treat them like slaves and dogs. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about a good man and a good woman coming together to making things work. She respects him and he loves her. Hey, what more can you ask for? Matter of fact, a lot of women, for the most part, are looking for relationships and can't find none. Now you're going to have some of them that say, well, I don't need a man and I don't want a man and no man can tell me what to do. Hey, that's your business. But I tell you one thing, though, everybody want to be loved. Everybody want to be respected. So how in the world you want to be respected, but you don't want to show respect, but you want love? Right? Like I said earlier, there can be no love without respect. So some of you need to think about that, because I'm sure there's some of you got the same mentality and you're going to come for me, you're going to leave your comments and say foolish things. That's okay. I already said what I said and I won't take it back. So, lady knows how to respect herself, be respectful to her husband and submissive, and in turn her husband takes care of her, cherishes her and loves her. Right? So in the home, she's not someone to be abused. Like I just said. She's not to be abused. She's not to be used, and then you won't lose her. Okay, so if if you abuse and misuse her, then you're gonna lose her. It's simple. She's not one of those. You don't want to lose her. She's a good woman that you want to keep. A traditional wife is a woman that understands her role, as laid out by the Word of God and common sense. You treat a man right the way you want to be treated, and he's gonna love you. So, so understand how important it is to love and cherish her husband. She understands that. And watch this though. She also understands how important she is to her husband and to her family. This is very important. See, as a traditional women, they understand. They know what it is they're doing. They know what it is a man is looking for. But here's the question I was about to ask earlier. Can most men afford a traditional wife? Are most men ready for a traditional wife? That's the question. Okay, that's one of the other questions I have. Leave me your comments. Are they ready? Can they afford a traditional wife? Because like I said, one income is not enough to make things work most of the time. You've got to be making real good money. All right? Now, I would also hope that you would help me to definitely answer all the questions I have. Please leave me your comments. Okay, I've got another video for you, so watch this video. This one I found at cruise season. So take a look at this one.
If you want a traditional woman, you got to create a traditional environment. There's so many dudes that expect a woman to go to work 40 hours a week, come home, clean up the whole house, cook a meal, take care of the kids, put the kids to bed, have porn star sex with them, and pay half of the bills. That's not realistic. Traditionally, man paid all the bills and the woman stayed home and took care of the house. So if you don't make enough money to create that type of infrastructure, then you cannot claim to want a traditional woman, because you are not a traditional man. You gotta go both ways. Like, you can't have tradition when it's convenient for you to. Like, yeah, I want to go half on the, bills and all of that, but I still need you cooking, cleaning, and doing everything, that a traditional woman is supposed to do. Meanwhile, I'm not providing like a traditional man did. That makes zero sense. But so many men in this area expect that.
As you notice, that one said that most men cannot afford a traditional woman. They cannot, because they can't live up to what's required of them, what's involved to make this thing work. Again, please, I'm asking you, leave me your comments. Let's have a conversation in this one right here. Okay? All right. So in the comment section below, do what you got to do. Leave me your thoughts. All right. So listen and let me know what you think. Okay? Because this is very, very, very important. So these are very important questions as we find men are traveling the world to find, some men are traveling the world to find traditional wives or more traditional wife. Let me put it this way. Men are traveling to find a more traditional wife than what we find in the United States. Let's put it straight, bluntly. This is what it is, right? And we see what the pitfalls are and the downfalls to trying to find a more feminine woman, a more traditional wife in America, because there are very many shortcomings to that. The attitudes and the mindsets are ridiculous. All right, so the first question, we go back to what is a traditional wife? Please answer that one. Can I afford a traditional wife? I really don't know. Honestly, I don't know. If I ask myself that question, I don't know. What about you, gentlemen? Can you afford a traditional wife? Do you have a traditional wife? That's another question. Am I ready also to be a traditional husband? Like I said earlier, you got to have your finances together. Your mental state has to be right. Your financial stability has to be right. Okay, so you have to understand what it is that you're getting yourself into, and you've got to be ready to take on that responsibility. You cannot take somebody's daughter into your home or into a home and mistreat her and abuse her and also bring her into struggle and starve her. You can't do that. You understand? So it's a whole lot going on. We're talking about passport bros and traditional wives, but when we really think about it, man's got to have money. Man's got to have money. So these are some of the questions. Can I afford a traditional wife? Am I ready for a traditional wife? Do I understand what it is to be a traditional husband? See, and you might be asking yourself the same thing, but let me ask those questions to you. And please, again, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but go ahead and let me know what you think. So, are you a traditional wife? Ladies, any one of you a traditional wife? Are you thinking about being a traditional wife? Okay, can you afford to be a traditional wife and not work? So, there's a whole lot going on with it, but at least a traditional role is, like I said, the wife staying at home, working, she's actually working at home, taking care of the home, taking care of the husband, taking care of the kids, making sure that everything is right in the home for when the husband comes home, and making his life easy, making his life peaceful, all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, that's it. I just want to know what you think. These are the questions I have as I've been looking at different things, looking at the different videos, and seeing really what's going on. So I'll talk to you later. Take care. I am William Nelson Ryan. I'm signing off until our next interaction. This has been Love Factual, wishing you blessings and great success. Talk to you later.